You're watching Road Legal, and this is a 2023 BMW M3 Competition. Let's talk specs. Under the hood, you have a 3-liter inline-6 with 503 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. Pushing power out the rear wheels, it pushes this 3,800-pound compact sedan to 60 in just, well, take a look. Let's talk about the exterior. To the front, this car looks super aggressive. I mean, you can't really get any more aggressive than this. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 air inlets on just this one side, and it's obviously symmetrical, so you got 14. But this car just screams aggression. It's fast. It knows it's fast. It has to let everyone else know it's fast. And I mean, obviously, aside from this, don't look at that. Don't look at that for right now. Look at the rest. Look at the rest. Look at these beautiful headlights. Look at that BMW laser system, which looks amazing at night. Great clarity. Obviously, when it lights up, it looks really mean at night as well. You have power bulges with indents to mirror the lung grille intakes that are on the bumper. But okay, let's stop running from the dual elephant in the room. The grille. Yes, everyone has talked about it. And yes, some people are like, yeah, it's grown on me. Some people are like, BMW has lost it. I'm not going to talk about if you should like the grille or not. I'm just going to say, honestly, from my opinion, this car, this grille, kind of saved it. Listen, I know. This grille, the amount of hype, controversy, and just how iconic and recognizable it's become, for better or for worse, no matter infamous or good. You see this grille coming down the road, you're immediately like, okay, this is an M car. With something this aggressive, obviously that 440i also has it, but that just looks eh. And you could obviously look at the other inlets, just how fighter jet shaped the front is, how sharp and aggressive and brutal the styling is. And you can immediately tell, all right, this car barks at you, not only from the engine, but just looking in your rear mirror. It's almost like the car is like, get out of my way, you're slow. I'm gonna these look like teeth and I'm gonna eat you. That's straight up it. So again, I'm not gonna tell you if you should like it or not. I'm just saying the amount of hype and recognition this grille gave this car kind of kept it relevant. All right, onto the side. So obviously from the front, you can't really tell if it's an M3 or an M4 if you're looking at it head on. But once you see its side, 2 doors, M4, 4 doors, M3. So super easy to tell there. You have 19-inch BMW M wheels that will always be impossible to clean and always attract brake dust, because this car has huge brakes that you'll be using all the time, because these cars only get abused. And well, to be completely honest with you, they're meant to be. So I'm just saying, it's just, you see this like matte finish on the wheels, just accept that this is how they're always gonna look like. You also have the split mirror cap for the M cars that a lot of non-M cars like to copy. You have that beautiful carbon fiber roof that honestly just glistens in the sun and it just looks amazing. It also lowers your center of gravity because the carbon fiber is so light, so there's basically no weight on the roof. So most of the weight starts moving a little bit further down, making it better in cornering and better at handling. And can we just appreciate for a second just how wide this car is? Super wide rear arches, super wide front arches. You have just such an aggressive stance with this car. It just looks mean. You drive down the road, you can immediately tell this is not your mom's 3 Series. This is not an M340i. This is an M3. It just has that big, strong, muscular look. And honestly, not a lot of cars on the road these days can match how aggressive this car looks. You also have these beautiful wedged doors because of that body line that runs all the way down the car, adding on top of that aggression that the car already has, making it look like it almost has 2 side skirts. And in the rear, honestly, I can kind of sum it up in one sentence. This car got a whole lot of ass. You got a enlarged rear bumper that looks like it came off a kit car, side markers that make it look like a race car, with a sculpted trunk that comes out to an edge, which is perfect for a duckbill wing. Beautiful taillights, A plastic diffuser holding in those huge quad tip exhausts that make sure that everyone on the road knows that you mean business. But hey, let's hear what this baby sounds like. And just everything about this car, from the rear to the side to the front, screams aggression. Nothing on the road looks like this. You will not be mistaken for anything else but an M3. Moving inside, it's exactly what you would expect out of the top of the line 3 Series, with really beautiful bucket seats that hold you in place for that aggressive driving. These are also heated with optional ventilated seats, and an M3 badge on the top of the seat that actually illuminates at night when you open the door. You have M stitching on the seat belts, which is really nice, as well as a nice big steering wheel with carbon accents with those M1 and M2 buttons that go through your pre-configured M profiles. But the screen is mostly dominated by a 12.3-inch instrument cluster and a 14.9-inch infotainment screen that, for better or for worse, controls most of the functions on this car. You have great graphics on them. The black levels are great. They're very usable. They're obviously touch screen. You also have a touch controller in the middle here with most of your navigation buttons. But to be completely honest with you, this car suffers from one problem, which is it has too few buttons and too many buttons at the same time. What I mean by that? In the middle here, you have about 16 different buttons that, as a person for the first time getting in the car, there is too much to look at. And for basic functions like HVAC, none of those are here. There's too many functions on the screen, such as your climate control. You can't even turn your heated seats on without going through a menu in this car. There's too many apps. The M mode menu is pretty complicated. I don't understand why braking has to be an option for your setup, but whatever. I mean, everything looks great. The graphics look great. Don't get me wrong, it's very responsive. There's just a little too much everything. There's too many icons. There's too many apps. But to be honest with you, most people who get this car or own it for a little bit are just gonna get in, turn on their Android Auto or CarPlay, put it in their M profile mode, and be on their way. They'll never go through any of these menus. They'll never go through any of these apps. So as much as I want to complain about them, it's fine. The instrument cluster, some people have mixed reviews about this instrument cluster because of its vertical design. I honestly don't care. The tachometer and speedometer look pretty good to me. They're nice and clear. You can have a map in the middle, which is great. You have some configurability there. A really big heads-up display, which is great. A really nice shift mode as well for when you're manually shifting. You also have a bass Harman Kardon sound system on this car, which actually doesn't sound bad. Comfort-wise, the seats are nice and comfortable. They hug you pretty well. There's pretty good adjustability to them. You do get reminded of the interior quality of this car, though. This isn't an 8 Series, so you're gonna see a lot of plastic, a lot of scratchy plastic. The speaker grills are plastic. The bottom trim pieces are plastic as well. While this car does have some nice leather and nice carbon fiber and all that, this is still a 3 Series. We also have a pretty usable back seat. I'm about 6'1" and sitting behind my own driving position. Have about 3 inches of knee room with about 3 inches of headroom, which is pretty usable. The amenities in the back aren't too bad either. You have your own AC controls with 2 charge ports for your devices. No middle cup holder section though, as when you pull this down, it actually becomes a tunnel for the trunk. But overall, a very usable back seat, and can easily fit 4 people with a 5th just in case. Let's talk about how this thing drives. So, I want to break this into 3 parts. Drivetrain, chassis, and how this is the M5. Drivetrain. This twin turbocharged 3-liter inline 6 is overpowered. It is such an absolute powerhouse for horsepower and torque. 503 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque. You already know the numbers, but oh my God, does it kick you in the back when you floor it. When you do, all you hear is the thundering sound of, I don't know, Olympus? Listen. So, you get all the horsepower you've ever wanted, all the torque you've ever wanted. This drivetrain is simply perfect. This ZF transmission is super quick. It shifts exactly how you want it to. It does not get in your way. So the power gets absolutely blasted to those rear wheels. This is the rear wheel drive version. So the rear tires love to dance a lot. But if you're able to manage that and you gain traction, you are in a different zip code within a couple minutes. It's just how it is. So I love this drivetrain. Steering. Mixed feelings about the steering. It's light, it's sharp, it's too sharp, it's too light. What do I mean by that? An M3, you're supposed to be connected to the road. You're supposed to feel where your tires are. You're supposed to feel how much traction you have. You don't feel any of that in this car. This car has basically, it's starting to turn into a Porsche from how light it is and how direct it is, but at the same time, there's no soul. There's a reason why people still buy Lamborghinis and Ferraris, even though Porsche absolutely dominates in every lap time and every metric when it comes to being a sports car. It's just boring. That's kind of the problem. It's too perfect. This steering, it's too light. I can't tell where my tires are. So when this 3,800-pound car starts sliding through a corner, I don't know how much traction I have. And I don't know how I should counter steer to stabilize. So that becomes a problem. Don't get me wrong though, obviously this being so sharp, you can take corners at stupid speeds with stupid confidence. This goes where the steering wheel is pointed, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I wish it was a little bit heavier than it is. It's a little too light, it's a little bit disconnected, but overall it gets the job done and it just makes it a perfect track weapon because you know exactly where you are, you know exactly when to apex, you know exactly what line you're on. It's just, you know, a different kind of perfect. Let's move on to the chassis. The chassis, perfect in every single way. BMW are absolute magicians when it comes to chassis tuning. This car is no different. It has 50-50 weight distribution, so it's super confident around corners. Those rear tires do love to kick out from under you. Again, this is the rear-wheel drive version. And it's not because the car has a ton of horsepower. It's mainly because this car is a little bit too heavy. That's all I'm gonna say. Other than that, again, the chassis performs beautifully. It handles amazing. There's no jiggling. There's no instability. Everything is great. On that point of instability, I do have to point out one thing though. This car, at some point, does feel unstable. Hold on, let me explain. So, back to the steering, it's a little too sharp. It being a little too sharp, meaning if you hit a bump on the road and your hand goes up a little bit and the steering wheel slightly tilts to the left, even 1 centimeter, you're in the next lane. And that isn't a good thing because once you're driving and you're awake, so you realize that the car is turning way too much into the next lane or turning way too much to the left, so you attempt to counter steer. But you over counter steer because the steering is too sharp. And now the car is jiggling and you're going 80 because this engine's too strong and you floored it too much. And now this car feels extremely dangerous. Just something to keep in mind. So other than that, if you can get over that, if you're just a good driver, it's not a thing that comes up a lot. Obviously, if you're not experienced, it'll become a problem. If you know how to drive, it's fine. Now let's talk about how this is an M5. This is an M5. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to deliver it in a smoother way. It's what the old M5 was and what an M5 is. Let me explain. This car, an M3 is supposed to be damn near compromised. You're supposed to feel the bumps on the road. You're supposed to feel where your tires are. You're supposed to get a lot of communication to the steering wheel. You're supposed to, yes, have a ton of power that almost kills you. Absolutely. But this car only kind of has the power one, and it doesn't have it in the same way because this engine's so strong and revs exactly like a twin turbo V8, so it feels like an M5. Just saying. The interior is too isolated, so it drives like an M5, like a luxury sedan. So you lose the connected to the field part, connected to the road part. You don't feel the road through the steering wheel anymore because it's electric steering. What makes this an M3 is the better question. It's small. It's the same length and width as the old M5, the E39 M5. Okay, it's light. It's 3,800 pounds, the same weight as the E39 M5, which had a V8. It doesn't have any of that. It looks crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong, M3s have always been aggressive, but they've never been this aggressive. And at the same time, have you seen the new M5? It's not exactly subtle. So in terms of driving dynamics, in terms of size, in terms of usability, in terms of what the M5 was supposed to represent, which is a car that does everything, this is that car. You have the power, you have the adaptability around corners, you have the space for people, you have the space in your trunk. What more do you want? I mean, I don't know. So I think the question that needs to be asked is, if this M3 is an M5, what's the new M5? I'm gonna let you answer that one. Thanks for watching.